So I want to add maybe a couple more flames to this, and perhaps also some smoke. For that, the flames are going to be pretty easy because I've got this perfectly good flame right here. I'm going to add one thing to its cascade, and I'll do that by right-clicking, and then under Location, I'm going to create an initial location. When I click on the initial location, that gives me this start location, which I can twirl down. I can twirl down the distribution, and now I've got a min and a max for X, Y, and Z. If this is my main flame, I'm going to leave this one alone, and then I'm going to duplicate the emitter. This will become flame O2. And perhaps with this one, what I will do is I will move it over a few points in X. Let's go 5, and then maybe -5. And now this one's going to be a little bit over here, and the main one's still going to be at 0. Oh, -2, that's fine. I could keep spreading out with just this one. So, I could do X and Y and Z, but I think that what I want to do instead is I want to juice my fire up by just kind of coming in and changing some of the color over lights so that we get some of them that are a little bit more yellow, maybe some that are a little bit more blue, and I think that that's going to give us an overall nicer fire. So there's that one. Let's do a third one. We'll just come in here and duplicate this emitter. This one we will rename. Let's call this Flame Emitter 03. And for this, let's take that initial location. I'm going to zero out the X's, and instead I'm going to use the Y's. So this one will hopefully be moved across a different axis. And then we'll come into the color over life, and maybe this one, let's take this all the way over into the purples. That could be fun. So now we've got a whole bunch of different colors and different shapes and different sizes going on, and I think that's going to look pretty nice. Let's do one more for smoke. So I'll come in, I'm just going to right click. We'll make a new particle emitter. Yep, looking good. I will rename this. We'll call this one my smoke emitter. This one under required, I am going to change it back to the particle basic. That's going to look a lot smokier. But again, I want to move it along velocity. Good, good. Spawn, I think that's way too much smoke. Let's go down to maybe 5 or 10. The lifetime I'm going to leave alone. The initial size is way too big. Let's see what 5 does. And let's do 1 for the minimum. That's probably too small. And we'll go up to 10. Even bigger, maybe even bigger. I think the initial velocity is a little too fast, so I'm going to slow that down. I don't want my Z to be negative. Let's keep my Z positive, because that's really what's giving it the speed. The color over life, I know it's just sitting there in the fire right now. It's very sad. The color over life, I'm okay starting with white, but I think I'd like it to end much closer to black, so I get nice, heavy, dark gray smoke. And then we'll give this one a constant acceleration, and we'll give this a lot of force along Z. Let's give it a 10 along Z, maybe a 50, and that'll drive it up. And perhaps we will also give this an initial location and move it up a little bit along Z so that it's not starting right on top of the fire. Okay, that looks a little better. So this looks great. I'm going to go ahead and save this. We'll head back to my dining room. And now I've got this perfectly nice fire going on over here. I really overdid it with the lighting effects, didn't I? Let's turn that off. Where is it? Well, if I could find it, I would certainly turn it off. There's my post-process volume. Turn that off. Give Unreal a second to realize that it's been turned off. And eventually I'll see my perfectly nice fire right here. So I'll go ahead and pause this, and when I come back we'll talk a little bit about mesh particles, and then we will be all done.